Hey. Mr. Ass. Death. No switch. Blows. I feel like a loser. The church suspended me.
Butter is back.
First use of that. Really does squat, right? So. Oh. Oh, and they're like banana bunch too. I should be a poverty. This is what overcompensation looks like. Ew! Change my entire display. The prophecy.
That fucking soap.
Be clapping and stomping my Jesus. It's fucking yellow. So oh man.
Step right up to the so horny.
Scott, he could it have been it.
About the.
You see, all you have to do to no, probably fine. Need this anymore. Don't mind if I do. Happy. Destroy the game console. You're. Go to Best Buy and see. The hard drive corrupted.
Shit, it's a white guy.
Sure, that pretty bad. Stop. Just didn't send. That I'm a penis.
Section.
Except.
What brings you in today?
Yeah, checks out. Where's Dad?
Of osteoporosis.
Clean all games surrounding it. Make Mania Plus. Ah! Yeah. This is just porn.
We're selling soup now.
Before.
Scott, wait! I need a weekend for my kid.
Oh shit, it's a Game Boy. Wasn't one of my best ideas. Stop! I can die now. Already pissed myself. We just can't do it. Oh shit, a sock.
I ate here.
Words! He said words! On the back of the box. How did I get here? Heat stroke struck. Oh yeah, death. Yeah, it was pretty easy. College essentials.
No.
You heard it here from you. See, I was there! Fun. My daughter's adopted finally has an ass.
Sonic 2 with a lock! He's got an eye to.
Wheel.
You died!
Where's my receipt?
Don't need this!
I got it. It was already copyrighted. Swing. Shit, they're bad.
Liquidate the
Accidents do happen.
Shut the f up!
Oh shit. I'm not doing it.
Is it Gex Night?
That tears it. Fucking Mario. Ziplocs fucking. I'm one of those guys. Inappropriate situation.
Son of a bitch!
The womb. They're real? Welcome to the club.
Go!
Oh.
Stop doing stuff!
Nope, that's a gun.
No!
Everything I can here. Oh. Can I win now?
No.
Okay.
I tried, okay? Chance time!
My picture's still up. I ate the fucking weed. Yay.
No! You can't be
I got some socks in the car. Pointing.
fucking party! God, man! Love the economy! Show us the fucking.
Here's my Glover room. Proclaiming the truth.
Garbage.
Happened to you? Run. Have an open mouth. Come to the ripe. Go. Damn. Don't look. Thank God. Damn.
Oh,
These never work.
son of a bitch.
Could use some hay. Wario. I'm awkward.
Oh!
Bitches. I made an accessory. Damn it! Fucking funny. No. Dumb. Shovel to the head. I was overjoyed. It starts with an X. And I asked for water. For that,
I've never played Metroid.
name it after a shape.
Give him rats.
Is obviously worse.
Get him out of there! The news!
I don't need you for this.
What the f is that?
Do you smell it?
This sucks. Let's get better. Watch for Just Dance. 7 Granddad.
Stop playing him like.
Nobody likes me. Bad.
I know it was a slur.
Actually work. Out of my pants.
His Bob!
The boycott. F my ceiling.